Hello everybody, welcome to The Profitable Investor. My name is Mark. This is a video series I created to help you become a better investor. And in this video we are going to talk about compound interest and where does it get its power? What is it about compound interest that makes your money grow so fast, so quickly that you don't even know what to do with it all? And I'm going to start out by talking about three components of compound interest. First component is your money. I'm going to use the letter P to represent that. Think of the word principal for P. The second component is interest rate. I'll use the letter R for rate of interest. And the third component is time. And that might be months, days, or years. And I will use the letter T for time. And these three components all work together, interact with each other to create a very powerful formula that we will call compound interest formula. And the formula looks like this: P times R to the exponential power of T. If you don't know what exponentials are, you can go on YouTube or Google search. You can probably learn this in less than 5 minutes. Very easy to understand. As long as you know how to multiply numbers, you'll be able to learn this very quickly. So this is the formula, P times R to the power of T, so that the money you're investing is being multiplied by the interest rate over a certain period of time. So here we have an example. Let's say you have $10,000, earns 10% per year, 30 years. How much money do you have in 30 years? So plug the numbers in, you get $10,000 times 10% to the exponential power of 30, which would be $10,000 times 1.1 to the power of 30, and that would be 10,000 times 1.1 times 1.1 times 1.1, and there'd be 30 of those. That's what that exponential number means, how many of the numbers there are being multiplied, and you would get a final answer of $174,494.02. So that would be pretty good. Now, I did another video on compound interest, and if you watch that video, then you know that if you have $1 and you double it for 30 years, you'd have over $1 billion. And the reason is because of this compound interest formula. You plug the numbers in, you get $1, and then you double that, and it would be 2 to the power of 30. So it'd be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and there'd be 30 of those 2's, and that's where you get your $1 billion answer from. So I'm going to do a fun little experiment, and I'm going to cut each part in half. So in the first example, we'll cut $1 in half and start out with 50 cents. Second example, we'll say you only get 50% instead of double. And in the third example, we'll cut the time in half, you get 30 years. So start with the first example here. How much money will you have if you start with 50 cents and you double it for 30 years? Well, you plug the numbers in and you get 50 cents times 2 to the exponential power of 30, and you still have over $500,000. So that would be pretty good. Moving on to the second example, let's say you start with $1 and you get to invest it for 30 years, but you only earn 50%. How much money would you have after 30 years? Again, you plug the numbers in, $1 times 1.5 to the power of 30, and your money goes all the way down to $191,751.06. So that made a big dent for sure, but let's look at what happens when you cut the time in half. So you get to have $1 and you still get to double it, but you only have 15 years instead of 30 years. Let's see how much money you end up with. So again, plugging the numbers in, $1 times 2 to the power of 15, and you end up with a whopping $32,768, which is barely a year's salary if you work overtime with a minimum wage job. If you're a doctor, then that wouldn't even come close to a year's salary. So if you can see what happened there. You cut the money in half and you still had quite a lot of money. You cut the interest in half, and that made a big dent for sure, but when you cut the time in half, that made the biggest difference of all. So the power of compound interest is created through the element of time. That's where it gets its power from. And the amount of money you start with is the least important of all of the components. Time is your most valuable asset. So if you want to have a lot of money in your life when you retire, then use your time wisely. Start now. Don't wait till you have a lot of money. That's kind of an oxymoron, because the way you're going to have a lot of money is to have lots of time. But if you don't use your time, then you're cheating yourself out of the most important asset, which is your time. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it motivates you to become a better investor. I'll see you in the next video.